Good evening and welcome to the OCP TV News. China's action to reduce their rising population seems to have taken a new turn for the worst. The leader of the Communist Party enforced this new law, the one-child policy, as an act to reduce the population, but he may not have expected these results. In Guangxi, more than 50,000 people have protested against forced abortions and sterilization. The army stepped in, killing 2 and wounding hundreds. This is one of many examples where the people have taken extreme measures to annulate the policy. Our reporter in Xiamen, southeast China, Chloe Daunters, has more. Chloe, is the situation really as bad as it seems?
I'm afraid so, Rebecca. The past few days have been quite hectic with the public protesting against this policy. The people are not tolerating it. The main issue now is human rights, but most importantly, gender imbalance, as more male children are preferred over females.
Why exactly has this policy been established in the first place?
China had been struggling with rapid increase of population. This causes problems of social, economic and environmental crises, as there are not enough resources for housing, water supply, food and the basic necessities.
Do they plan on lifting the policy once the population has decreased?
Every few years you hear that the Chinese government may end the one-child policy and allow couples to have more than one child, although for some couples these considerations are too late. But the policy is expected to last for another decade.
Thank you for that, Chloe. At least it's a relief to know that not all of China is suppressed by this policy. For example, Hong Kong. Other places have allowed 2 births per couple. Lisa Johnson will supply us with more information concerning the area appliances of the one-child policy.
Hi, I'm Lisa Johnson and I'm here today to show you the appliances of China's one-child policy. As we have already mentioned earlier, it only applies to 63% of China. That includes the main capital, Beijing, and many other smaller cities such as Xi'an, Shaanxi, Wuhan, Shanghai, and Canton. In the many other regions, such as this big area here, which is mainly Himalayas, it does not apply at all, or it is not enforced. In the 2 cities, Macau and Hong Kong, it does not apply at all. That was Lisa Johnson. Thank you.
For many women in China, having only one child is an oppressive and emotional struggle. We've discovered more details from this from a woman, Xiao Aijin, in Xiamen, southeastern China. We are currently inside a Chinese hospital where Xiao Aijin and her husband Liu Yanhua have allowed us to shortly interview her from the neck below. She is terrified, and in her 8th month of pregnancy, she was forced by the police to have an abortion because of violating her country's one-child policy.
I had felt the baby moving round and round my belly. Can you imagine how I feel now?
We also managed to interview her husband, but for safety reasons he would only allow it outside the hospital briefly and not in public.
There were many men surrounding my wife. They held her arms behind her back, pushed her head against the wall, kicked her stomach, and I don't know if they were trying to give her a miscarriage right there and then.
The woman was then locked here and was given a deadly injection which killed the unborn child. What you are looking at now is the dead fetus still inside Xiao Aijin. Forced abortions such as these usually happen in remote areas in China, but in this case it happened in one of the most modern cities in the country. Xiao Aijin was not the first woman to violate the policy, and there have been many more unfortunate women over the past few years. The consequence is not only having to pay a $1,000 to $40,000 fine, but it's also having to be sterilized. The Chinese government may not support the forced sterilization, but it obviously still happens. So Rebecca, this is how bad the situation is.
Hello there, good evening. Welcome to OCP TV. I'm Adriana James and I'm here to talk about China's one-child policy, the purposes and the enforcement. The main reason why China had made this policy is due to the resources that weren't available for the population. If somebody was planning on having a second child, or they had their second child, they would have a forced abortion, vasectomies, hysterectomies, and forced sterilization to the man. This can be very emotional for the woman and the man. You would automatically lose your job, you would lose social benefits and health care, and you would also lose education for the one child if you're planning on having a second one. That's how extreme China can get with this policy.
This was the OCP TV News. Thank you for watching with us.